Hello, welcome to the Jupyter Dev meeting for October 18th, 2016. Get started, we can have Peter.
Yeah, besides the status error, I've been sort of self-teaching about Jupyter Lab and writing extensions using what docs there. And as I figure these things out, I know things are in flux. Is there like a place where I should submit tutorials or little write-ups, or is there anything like that organized?
That's a good question. I feel like we should have a place for kind of cookbooks and recipes and examples on extension stuff. Maybe one of the Jupyter Lab folks has a place where that should go.
I mean, Dan, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I was specifically going to ask Dan what his thoughts are. We don't have a dedicated place right now yet, but that sounds like a really useful thing to have. There's the extension builder repo where things, at the very least, that would be like a place where maybe an issue could be raised, saying what should we do with this. But I think, I don't know, Dan, where when you worked on your extension, where did you put it, and where do you plan on putting future ones?
Take it, Dan's audio.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Right up.
Maybe this is a thing we can bring up Friday at the Jupyter Lab dev meeting. Yeah,
that's fine.
We created the Jupyter resources repo, which might be an appropriate place for kind of teaching materials and stuff. It hasn't been entirely decided what that's for, but that also might be a place.
The only other one I was going to say, there is the Jupyter Lab tutorial, which I think is a little bit older now. I remember it was put up a while ago, but I think that's still right in the Jupyter Lab repo. I don't know if that's appropriate to update that, or.
Yeah, I guess it'll depend on exactly what it is. There's probably something extension related that's appropriate in there.
Okay. All right.
There may be a few different places depending on the nature of it.
All right. I'll either open an issue and we can talk about it there, or on Friday during the JLab meeting we can talk about that. Thanks.
Yeah. That's it for you, Peter?
Yeah, that's it. Thanks. The rest of the status is just there.
The main thing from me is the PR on the notebook repo to turn on login tokens by default, which just sets, so currently you either have the notebook that's not authenticated at all, or you have a notebook that's behind a single password. And I have a PR to kind of make some authentication be present all the time, using a simple token, so that there's a one-time token used to authenticate the automatic open the browser, and then there's a long-lived token that is stored in the connection file and logged in the output for connecting. And then once you've connected, you get it sets the cookie just like with the passwords. So if people want to have a look at that, I think it'll be useful to have, if we can get the token authentication to behave well enough, then having authentication always on for the notebook server, I think will be a good thing in general. And that's the main thing for me from feedback and stuff. Looks like Matthias is next on the list.
Oh, wow, lots of people don't speak. Okay, so I've been working a bit upstream on read-to-doc and PyTest, mainly because we use PyTest for many many of our tests, and it's swallowing a lot of deprecation warnings. So I'm trying to see if we can restore at least showing the deprecation warning and not having them raise, so that we can make sure to not use deprecated API across our project. It's been quite complicated because PyTest is complex, and I've been working also a bit on the Docker stream. The PyPI work for Python 3 only packages is in danger because the maintainers of PyPI have been let go from their main jobs. So right now they need to figure out a way to keep working on open source. So I don't know when we can get review on that and when it will be merged. So that I can't do much about that. And next week, many of us are the Moore Sloan Data Science Summit in New York, so mostly working on that. So not much directly related to the project. Sorry about that. And that's about it for me.
Thanks.
Next is Mike, I think, because Dan cannot speak.
Sounds good. Most of what I've been working on is getting a couple of things done with NBConvert, and then trying to finally address the how do you hide output via the metadata tags, or not just output, but input, output, and hidden stuff in general. And so I built a templating sort of thing, a template to be able to do that. Min commented on it. If anyone else wanted to, I can add the link to the issue that I opened in NBConvert. If anyone else wanted to weigh in. So the animation is a little jumpy because I was trying to do it entirely with CSS. And the best way to deal with going from auto-sized objects to a fixed size, namely 0 sized objects using only CSS transitions, seems to be changing something like the max height or the max width. And so that's what I was changing. And then that means that you have to sort of calibrate the animation to allow for whatever the maximum size of the thing is that you want, but also not make it incredibly slow for the smaller cells. And since it's only changing the max height, it only appears to do anything. So it has a very strange curve in terms of the actual like transition speed. In case anyone was wondering why that was like that. Other than that, I'm open to comments and stuff. There's now also a version for both hard hiding where nothing is visible, as well as the toggleable hiding, which is only available in HTML. But then I also put the hard hiding in for PDF. No other comments? That's also cool. But
Yeah, I'll try to find some time to get some help getting NBConvert 5 done.
oh, fantastic. I mean, it's pretty close to done. That would be that's the other thing. Is there anything else, any other major bugs that people are seeing that we want to get done before 5.0 is released? And then Matthias had suggested doing a beta release rather than a full release. I wasn't sure what the advantages or disadvantages of that were, so thought I would bring that up too.
Yeah, and we can go either way, especially if there are kind of changes that you want to get wider testing on before releasing. But I would also.
I was thinking entry points, and people might not have XeLaTeX support. I don't think that they could possibly have PDF LaTeX support if they have a standard build and not have XeLaTeX support, but in case they did. But the only thing that I would imagine is going to mess with people's current setups is the entry point stuff.
Right. Yeah, and we can do a short beta. The test surface for a beta and is the difference between beta and master is pretty small. So we can do a short beta to kind of get people trying it out and go ahead and
okay. What should the time frame for how long do you keep the beta live before releasing? How long do we normally do that?
A week or two, I think.
Sounds good.
It depends on the magnitude of the changes and and how much feedback we're getting during the beta period, that kind of stuff. But usually not very long.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. And I'm sure that we'll be talking about it more.
Jason?
Can you come back to me? I have to relocate to a different room.
Yes. Currently, you're the only one left, though. So I will use now to say, if anybody has anything they want to add while I wait for Jason to land in his new room.
You still have a few days to make a pull request for Hacktoberfest and get a free t-shirt if you're listening. So you can go to you can search for Hacktoberfest on Google. You will land to the page. You register, and if you make 4 PRs by the end of October, you might get a free t-shirt. It's a small compensation for contributing to open source. That might give you some motivation to participate.
Cool. I'm back. I just wanted to point out, Darian, I know you're on, you might have mentioned it as well. We created a Jupyter Lab organization on GitHub and a Jupyter Lab organization in NPM, and moved a bunch of repos, both as NPM packages to the NPM organization and the actual Git repositories to the Jupyter Lab repos or Jupyter Lab organization on GitHub. Broke a bunch of stuff, but just FYI, everyone. And we'll be, I guess, deprecating the NPM packages that we had and work on polishing up widgets and things like that. And I guess status update for Sylvan, I was just talking to him earlier, but he's in France, so this is kind of late for him. He's working hard on separating the Jupyter Notebook server out from the Jupyter server, the Tornado server backend from the Notebook front end. So hopefully we'll see you'll make some progress on that in the next week or two. So good stuff happening.
Thanks. I believe that's everybody. So unless somebody has anything they want to bring in at the last minute that they didn't list, then we can be done.
Bye, Internet.
What was that, Jason?
He said bye, Internet.
Okay. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thanks.